I never know if these things go live right on time, but it always seems they go live a lot earlier than I expect them to. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Emerge Gallery. My name is Robert Langdon, and today we are going to be doing the virtual tour and artist discussion for the current show called Primarily Red, Art Celebrating the Color Red. I'm being joined by about 20 artists that are participating in the show. And there are probably about, I'd say about 45 to 50 artists that are in the show, exhibiting in the show. The theme of the show is red. I usually do this around the holidays. Want to do a holiday kind of theme show, but I don't want it to scream holidays. So I thought that, you know, red along the walls of the gallery would look pretty festive. Been doing this for a number of years through galleries that I had in New Jersey, or that I ran in New Jersey, and been doing it for the last few years here at the gallery in Saugerties. So I'm gonna take you real quick. I'm here at the gallery. I'm gonna take you real quick through a quick little tour of the exhibit, and then we are going to get going. All right. So we are going to start off here. Here we go. I hope you can see it all, but this is, we're starting off with Lesley Bodzy's piece, and we're very lucky to have Lesley here today. Really pleased to have her. But when I hang the show, just to give you a little background of how I do this, I usually hang a couple anchor pieces and then let the works sort of speak to me and make those connections. I don't really make the connections when I'm curating the shows, although I do have certain things in mind that I'm looking for. But it's always exciting, and it is one of my favorite parts of this whole process, is surrounding myself with the art, putting up that first piece, and then letting the rest of the work sort of speak to me and let me know how they connect and what should go next. Each piece, there's always some kind of connector between each piece. You'll see a little bit of theme, like there's a little bit of blues there. A lot of the themes are by color. A lot of the connections are made by movement, all different ways that I find that the work connects. So this is the show. I also wanted to bring this piece up to give you a closer look at it. This is by Gray Ivor Morris, who it's an alcohol ink on glass. I tried hanging it on the wall a couple times, but it really deserves to be seen with some light shining through. So I thought it looked best in the window. Tried to hang it on the wall with some light source behind it, but it just really wasn't working all that great. Okay, so let's start the tour. The show is on Artsy. You can find it on the Emerge Gallery NY page on artsy.net, which I will bring up and show you right now. Oh, that's not what we want. Here we go. All right, let me share my screen so you can see what I'm looking at. Okay, so this is my Artsy page. So it's Emerge Gallery, and you'll see right here is Primarily Red, which is the current exhibition. And then you can scroll through and see a number of other shows that I have. Got a number of solo shows as well, which we'll be talking about throughout the presentation. But this is the main page. Here is this is the main page for the Primarily Red show. It is laid out in the way that I had curated it on the walls. So we are going to go through each of those, and we're going to start first with Lesley Bodzy. I did want to mention that I do have a solo show of Lesley's up on Artsy right now. I've been working with Lesley for probably, you know, a little over a year now. Love Lesley's work. She's very playful with her work. She has a whole new series. It's called Wrapping and Unveiling, where she drapes a lot of different materials She also has the wall drape series, which the vermilion piece that I just showed you is part of it. But it's really gorgeous, and you can pin them in different configurations to make it look new every time, and they're acrylic. Lesley will talk a little bit about that as well. So let me bring on Lesley, and we will, where are you, Lesley? And we'll get going. Sorry, guys. My goodness. Okay. I don't know why I'm having such a tough time here. I'm so sorry, everybody. How come I can't see you all? You're all seeing the, you're still seeing the screen, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
My apologies, folks. I don't know why I can't find you all again.
We're still seeing the artsy page.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to.
Lesley, are you really on a beach?
No. I've been playing around with the screensavers that Zoom provides you, and this is one of them. And now I can't figure out how to get it down.
Well, it's very nice.
So
I was being very
I'm
jealous.
like, it's ridiculous. No, I'm in Houston, Texas.
Okay. Lesley, I'm gonna spotlight you, and there you are. Great. Okay. Great. Okay, we're where we want to be. I'm so sorry about that, folks. So Lesley, this is Vermilion Wall Drape. Tell us a little bit about this piece and the series too, if you like.
Okay, so hi, I'm in Houston, Texas. This is a screensaver behind me, but very delightful, right? But I'm not really in Hawaii. So I have this series called Wrapping and Unveiling, and you can see it on Artsy on the Emerge Gallery site. This is one of the works. Many of the works are wall drapes, and this one is called Vermilion Wall Drape, and it's made totally of acrylic paint. This one also has some colored papers, some glitter, some pigments, and a little bit of resin. And you can take them down and play with them. You can arrange them on the wall any way you want, or even make folds in them. And I'm currently actually combining this one with a green one because of opposite colors, green and red. So they're a lot of fun. They're meant to be fun. They're also arguably very pretty on the wall. There it is. Oh yes, this is the green and red one together.
Yeah.
And these are both made of colored papers, pigments, glitter. They're basically mixed media works. And together, it's a rather large installation with them both together. I think it's like 5 feet by 4 feet or something. And then I have other wall drapes that are orange and blue and different colors. And the whole idea is to sort of be mysterious. What's under it? What's it covering? I also have wrapped objects wrapped in acrylic paint. And it's sort of exploring the idea of surrealism, that what it looks like is not what it is. It looks like fabric, but it's really paint.
Yeah.
And so I'm still making more of them. Robert's showing more of them, more and more and more.
I love them. I think they're so much fun.
I'm so grateful. Robert's one of the few gallerists that really understands that it's a very forward-thinking item.
Love it. Yeah, they're great. Always a pleasure, Lesley. And we'll see you again, I know. And please have a look at Wrapping and Unveiling. Some really wonderful works. The wall drapes. There's also some paintings. There's some sculptural pieces, really, really wonderful work. So please have a look.
Thank you, Robert.
You got it. And I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Lesley. Okay, our next pieces are by Linda Linton. I'm going to bring up those pieces now. This is it's a monotype, really, really wonderful. It's called Winter Summer. I don't really know Linda's monotypes all that well. She doesn't really do many monotypes. She does mostly oil paintings. So I'm pretty familiar with her oil paintings, but not, or you're looking right at me. There you go. I'm not familiar with her monotypes, but this is really lovely. It's got a little bit of red. It's got quite a bit of orange. And with the theme, you'll see that there's different variations of red. There's bright candy apple red. There's different pinks. There's different oranges, but there's some maroons, all different ways that people are using the color red. So this is by Linda Linton. This is the second piece by Linda Linton. It's called Hell Freezes Over. This is one of her more traditional works. This is oil on canvas. It's 24 by 36. The next piece is by Susan Phillips. Susan is an artist in New York. She's a photographer. She is associated with the National Association of Women Artists. This is her piece called Autumn. And then this is the second piece called Rain. She has a whole series where she captures different reflections of light, refractions of light through raindrops. Really interesting series. So this is Rain. And then we have Natalie Baburka. Natalie, are you here? I think I saw you. No? Okay. I guess Natalie's not here. This piece here is by Natalie Baburka. Natalie, I believe, lives in Catskill, New York. Had Natalie's works in a number of different shows. This piece actually was painted using seaweed, I believe she said. And it's a abstract piece. Natalie's been really challenging herself with a lot of abstract work lately. Wonderful, Margaret Still. This is probably one of my favorite pieces that I've seen of Margaret so far. Margaret, she does a lot of traveling with her husband, takes photographs, and then creates images with those photographs. This one is called Rosedale, Mississippi, Chow's Supermarket. It's oil on wood, and it's 16 by 12. This next piece is by Nancy Campbell. This is called Summer on Market Street right here in Saugerties. Nancy's an artist here in Saugerties. She was the past president, I believe, of the Woodstock Art School. This is 23 by 23. Elaine, so Elaine here. Elaine Ralston. Let's bring you up. Great. Okay. Hi, Elaine.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Good to see you.
Sarah.
I love this little piece. Tell us about this one. This is the one that's in the gallery, and then Elaine has another piece that's exclusive to Artsy. I did want to mention that in addition to the work that's on the walls, there are additional work exclusive to Artsy.
This was kind of a foggy morning, and these trees were just standing out in the fog. And I tried to capture them as they were. This is a pastel on sanded paper.
Mm-hmm.
It just gave me a feeling, and I tried to capture that feeling for that.
There's great movement in it, in the piece.
Thank you.
And then the second piece is called Just Tulips. This is pastel as well.
Yes. That's a pastel also, and I just felt like the colors and the tulips were so vibrant that I decided to do it without the vase. Although they were in a vase, I just like the idea of them just speaking for themselves.
Mhm. They're beautiful. It's classic. Thanks, Elaine. How's Ruby?
She's good. She went for a ride with Francis. She's out, not sticking her face in the computer.
All right. Good to see you.
Thanks.
Chee, bravo. This is the second time that I've had Chee's work in the show. I think it was actually last year, Chee, that we had another piece from this series in the exhibitions. I think it was for the last Red show. Is that right?
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
Okay,
it
great.
was.
And this is called Havana Street Vendors. Tell me a little bit about this. It's really a gorgeous piece, and it deserves to be seen in person.
Yes, actually, this one is my last piece I did in this series to date. It's the 6th one. The one that I put in last year is the first one that I did. So that's like bookending this I guess this show.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's based on a trip that my family and I made to Cuba in 2018. My husband is American Cuban, and it was his dream to go there and visit his families where they originally came from. So it was a lifelong dream of his, and we finally got there in 2018. And it was pretty much a bittersweet one for him because his parents passed away before their hopes of returning to Cuba one day. So his experience basically brought tears to his eyes, and it was more poignant than the treasured memories told by his late mother. She repeatedly told him stories of, growing up in Cuba and living there. And he pretty much, it kind of like dismissed her until he got there, and he was like, wow, this is even better than, than those memories that he was repeatedly told as a young boy. So here I was actually overcome by the experience also. And this one in particular is a pencil vendor, and he was found at a bus terminal in Santa Clara on our way to Cayo Santa Maria, which is a beach resort. And the cigar lady in the back is kind of an icon, a Cuban icon, that everybody seemed to know about, and we found a few of them there. She was one of them, and she was all dressed in this really exciting, put together, get up. And she would pose. I found her in Havana, old Havana, and she would pose with the tourists, do selfies with the tourists to make money, so they're very entrepreneurial. The spirit of this entrepreneurial society was incredible. It was very eye-opening and a very humbling experience for me. And everybody there either sold stuff from, the backyard garden, or sold anything, pretty much anything. And it ranged from, say, this pencil vendor to some incredible artwork and the renowned music that comes from Cuba. And with that, I hope to capture this essence in this particular series that I started, which I do. This particular one is acrylic with spray paint. I also do printmaking, silk screening. So I create this imagery on my computer digitally from all the photographs I take. And then I recreate it either on canvas through acrylic or mixed media or silk screening on paper. And I'm really happy with the way it's turning out. And there's a joie de vivre to the whole series, which I was hoping to capture in each piece. So that's the story.
They're beautiful. I'm really pleased to have another piece in the show. I believe the other one has archived in the Red Show from last year. If you wanted to have a look.
Yes, I saw it recently. It's called El Vendedor, and it's a banana vendor. So
Great.
it was an incredible trip. You know, top 3 up there.
Gorgeous.
Thank you for having me in the show.
My pleasure. It's great to meet you virtually.
Nice to meet you too.
All right, take
and
care.
all the other artists. Beautiful work. Thank you.
Thank you, Chee. All right. Let's see, who do we have next? Our next piece is by Terry Priesner. Let me bring up Terry's work. Oh no, Judy. I'm sorry. Judy Stanger. Where are you? I just saw you.
Hi, Robert.
Oh, there you are. Hi. Okay. All right, I'm gonna bring you up. Judy Stanger. I had a number of Judy's works over the years in the show. Love Judy's pastel. It's very fun. I mean, especially like this one. There's a bit of a little kookiness to it, which I like a lot. So yeah, please, Judy. I had the pleasure of visiting Judy's studio not too long ago, and it was exciting to see everything sort of come to life that I've been familiar with, and I see it all framed and all its final product. But it was great to see the art in the making. So yeah, welcome, Judy. Tell us a little bit about this piece, about your work.
Thanks so much, Robert. Yeah, so this piece was done on a cold October day a few weeks ago, 3-4 weeks ago, during the week when they typically have the Cape Ann Plein Air Festival out in the North Shore, and this was in Gloucester, Eastern Point Lighthouse. And it was a cold day. The rain had passed. In the afternoon, the sun came out, and I had to walk a mile and a half to get there. And yes, there's kookiness that's intentional.
Yeah.
That's how I operate. I try to, I tend to animate some of my inanimate objects.
Wonderful. Love it. And this is in Gloucester, you said, right?
And this is in Gloucester, right?
Yeah. Okay, great.
In order to be eligible for this festival, you have to paint out there on site, obviously plein air, during the same week that the festival is happening.
Oh,
So
wow.
I sought out to do that, even though it was canceled this year.
Well,
I have great friends out there.
it's good to have, to have an annual, even if it's not official. All right, great.
Exactly. Commemorate it.
Yep.
Thanks so much, Robert.
You got it. Good to see you. All right.
Good to see you.
Next artist is Terry Priesner. Terry has the piece right behind me. It's called Peonies, Salvia, and Roses. It's oil on panel, and it's a classic still life. Lynn Sabol. Did I see Lynn here before? Yes, I see you. Okay, you're on mute, Lynn. I'm going to bring you up, and we're going to bring up your piece. Good to see you, Lynn. I saw you the other day. Nice to see you without a mask.
I don't even want to go into the mask stuff right now. This is the beginning of sort of going to abstract art. I used to do representational art, and I took an abstract art course during the lockdown, and I absolutely love it. And I think one of the things I love about doing abstracts is it challenges your intellect. You just don't throw paint down, and you have to really look into your composition, your line work, your colors, and your balance. And I just really fell in love. And I think it, got my groove back with painting. I never know what I'm going to get. It always starts as something one way, and it turns out to be something in the end. But I absolutely love doing this, and I'll be doing more of this, I hope. And I just hope my paintings look a lot of fun and color. I love color. So that's the story of this painting, and it is acrylic on canvas.
What do you find sort of off-putting about abstract, or challenging about creating an abstract?
Again, it is the balancing act between your composition, your line work, your color, and everything on your painting means something, going back to your composition.
Right.
When I was a young art student, we poo-pooed this. I know we were young, we didn't understand, but as we get older with wisdom, I've really grown to appreciate the great abstract and present day abstract artists. And now I get it, and apologies to all my art teachers like 40 years ago. Yeah, so there you are. You never know. It's never too late.
Yep. Well, I'd love to see more, Lynn.
Okay, they're coming up. Thank you.
You got it. Okay, next we have Annette Jarrett. This is a digital painting by Annette Jarrett, which I find really interesting because I'm mostly familiar with Annette's paintings and collage work. So it's very interesting to see a lot of artists that I'm used to their paintings to sort of go in a digital direction. So this is Annette Jarrett. Okay, Christy O'Connor. Christy, I just saw you here. Let me bring you up. Here you are. Okay, great.
Hey, Robert.
Welcome. Christy O'Connor, and this is tell us about this performance and the piece here.
Sure. Thank you for having me, by the way.
My pleasure.
So this is titled Paraphilia, and the dress itself is a wearable sculpture. It's made from paper mache, cording and lace and cheesecloth and paper cutouts, and I kind of just constructed it to wear and fit my body. And so this is a performance still. The performance itself is on my website. It's just kind of like a little dance and ditty that I did in the dress. But the whole meaning behind the work is this idea that this duality women are experience as they grow up and then grow older, of this infantilization and sexualization of women, and this pressure for younger women to look older and older women to look younger, into this particular sweet spot of the age we're all supposed to look. And so it's just this this general idea that women, in order to be female, many times you're told to almost look vulnerable and small in order to be sexually appealing.
If you, what's the website where they can see the video, Christy?
My website is christyoconnorart.com.
Okay, great. Yeah, if you get a chance to see the video, please do. It's worth watching. And then Christy has a few pieces as well on some of the other shows. The Isolation show, and I think that's it, right? Just the one.
Yeah.
All right, great. Well, good to see you, Christy. I haven't seen you in a while.
Good to see you, Robert.
And we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for joining us. Okay, the next artist is, these are two pieces by Carol Magnotta. It's not a very good reproduction of the image here, but it is Red Corset Dress 1. It's on pastel. Andrea Geller. Andrea, I saw you here.
I'm here.
Yep. Oh, there you are. I see you. I recognize that studio. Welcome. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Andrea, I have a number of Andrea's works on Artsy, including the Bath series, which is a whole series of oil paintings of the process of getting in and preparing, getting in and getting out of the bath. But Andrea does some really wonderful landscape. This one, I know it's not a lot of red, but there is a red, and it's a pretty bright red, and it draws your eye, at least my eye, goes right to it. So yeah, tell us about this piece, Andrea. And we have a second piece as well, the Sedona Rocks.
So when Robert said his eye was drawn to that little bit of red, I like to always point out what the last stroke might have been in the painting, and it was that little bit of red.
Oh, it was. Nice.
So the accent sometimes happens at the very end. So these two paintings are actually connected to a trip my family and myself did last winter. We visited Arizona, and this place is called Horseshoe Bend, and I'm just going to read what the site says. Horseshoe Bend is a near perfect circular canyon carved into the earth by the Colorado River, and that is a good sentence about it, because it is absolutely stunning when you look down at the blue in the Colorado, in the river. And we did a short hike there. And the reason why I painted these two paintings were I have been actually a larger series of cliffs, and I'm interested in the massive land formations that are organically sculpted by the Earth's natural forces. And I also included, originally this painting did not have figures, but I have often added figures. I included them in this painting because you get a sense of scale. And it also is my presence there. I was, in the rock, I was on the rock across from it. And you just actually can imagine no barriers, and you're just out in the space. And so the color is often what is engaging to me, and I work part from memory and also from a ton of photographs that I take. The Sedona one is also a place I went recently, but I also went many years ago. And the Red Rock region is just absolutely stunning in terms, you just don't even expect this color in the landscape. And so the vastness of it, and also the fact that you can have so much fun just experimenting with color in this rock. And I also scrape into the surface. So the word is sgraffito, so you get a sense of textures. It's just something that I'm always engaged in doing. Robert, I think you're muted.
I was saying the Sedona one is a small piece. It's 8 by 8. It looks like a much larger piece on the screen, but it is a small one. Great, thanks, Andrea. Always a pleasure.
Thank you again for having me.
And I'll see you soon.
Okay.
All right. Okay, next we have Susan Murphy. Susan is an artist here in Saugerties. This is called Automorphism #1. It is a photograph. James Putnam. This is another photograph. This is called Vessel. This one is printed on aluminum. It's photography 12 by 12, created in 2020. Larry Caveney. Larry, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Caveney. I follow Larry on Instagram, and I like Larry's work a lot. And occasionally, unfortunately, I don't get to ask artists to join a show as often as I'd like, but I do like Larry's work a lot. And there were a number of pieces that I liked for the Red show. Larry does a lot of pop culture, superheroes, fun work. But I really connected with the rabbit, asked him to join the show. So yeah, please, Larry, welcome. Larry, you are in Arizona, is that right?
Yeah, Tubac, Arizona, correct.
Well, welcome to New York.
Right on.
Tell me a little about the jackrabbit.
Well, I've always been interested in the symbol of the rabbit on a mythological level, even before I moved to Tubac. But upon arriving at Tubac, I had noticed all the wildlife, which are, bunny rabbits, roadrunners, coyotes, and definitely jackrabbits, which are a kind of a entity in their own right. When you see them in person, especially when the light's shining through their ears, they look quite like aliens, if you will. And so, just thinking, well, nature of all things is the most consistent thing when it's around, that idea of the animal, and probably the more honest thing too. And so, I started painting jackrabbits, roadrunners, but this is one of the jackrabbit series I did. And my painting process is more of a biomorphic, surreal kind of process, which is an exercise of chance and then reeling it into some kind of representational element. And this is how that happened. And within the color palette, we can beckon back to Kandinsky and spirituality of painting with the utilization of colors as emotional or psychological meaning. The color palette, the dichotomy of the hot red to the austere blue equates this kind of tension, if you will, translating into some kind of action within this very stabilized, very singular figure being the jackrabbit.
Larry, one of the things that I think is so much fun about Larry is he does these backyard galleries where
Front yard.
Front yard. I'm sorry. And it's a number of his canvases on stretch, just hanging on all over the place.
Clothesline.
Such a great idea. Kudos to that. This is wonderful. Larry, where can people find you on Instagram and to see more of your work?
It's just straight up Larry Caveney, one word, LARRYCAV is in Victor, ENEY, Larry Caveney. Yeah.
Great. All right. Well, Larry, I'm really pleased to have it here.
Thanks, Rob.
And I'll be liking your work on Instagram, and hopefully we'll bring some more in.
Right on.
All right. Great. Thanks, Larry. Good to meet you.
Same here.
All right. Our next piece. Oh, Michelle Tomasi. This is mixed media on Yupo. Again, I've mentioned this a couple times in some of these virtual things, but and thanks to Andrea, Andrea Geller, that is, I'm just very curious about Yupo and have been, sort of the whole orange thing again with my orange show. You don't realize how much orange is used, or you don't realize how many people are using Yupo until you start paying attention to it. So this is an abstract piece on Yupo. It's called Red Nest. Roberta Sickler. I have two pieces from Roberta. This is called Red Tide. It's oil on panel, 9x12. And then the second piece is called Hail. Again, this is oil and some pencil and mixed media.
Not seeing, but we can see the art.
Yeah, I can't see the picture.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to share. Okay. All right. You can say, there you go. Okay. Sorry about that. So this is the second piece. This is called Hail. And then the first piece, this is in the show. This piece is called Red Tide. It's oil on panel. It's 9x12. Cindy Sumerano. Cindy, I think you're here, aren't you?
Hi.
All right, let's find you.
Hello.
I'm looking. I see you. Okay. Hi, Cindy.
Hi.
All right. Welcome. I love this piece. This is a really charming piece. It makes me happy.
Oh, well, I'm glad. It's it came from a really dark place, so I'm glad it makes you happy.
Oh. The title, the title's Grief Rising.
Yeah, it was I lost my younger brother a couple of years ago, very, very suddenly and rather tragically. And had a lot of trouble processing that for a while. I was really angry and really upset. And I had this piece of paper taped to the board on my easel, and I just started slashing paint at it. not really with any intention of going anywhere, but just as a physical process, which is pretty much a departure from the way I usually work. And as I did that, I guess, some kind of healing took place, whatever. And I started to feel better, and I started thinking about, kind of like the flowers that grow through a crack on a sidewalk, that find their way bubbling up. And I had been experimenting with some acrylic pours to use as collage elements. And so I started cutting them into flowers and putting these flowers in place that were growing up out of, I guess, the crack in the sidewalk, so to speak. So that's that one.
And what about the second piece, Abandoned Youth?
That one actually marks a point of technical transition. I had been working in terms of painting exclusively in oils for many, many years. And basically from high school forward, I'd never been even taught how to work in acrylic or anything else, and decided that I was going to learn to work in acrylic. And so this was one of 4 paintings that kind of marked that transition. All of them have that tricycle in it somewhere, and then some other elements. That was probably maybe the second or third thing I'd ever done in acrylic. So it's acrylic and charcoal, I think this one is. But
It brings back a lot of memories for me as a kid that spent all his time on his bike.
yeah, well, all that old metal tricycle that I think
Yeah.
all of us of a certain age had.
Exactly. Well, they're wonderful. Thank you, Cindy. There's a number of other pieces of Cindy's on Artsy as well that have been in some of the previous shows. And come on in and see Grief Rising. It's really a wonderful piece, and it definitely deserves to be seen in person. There's a lot of detail in here that you're just not getting on the photos. All right, thanks, Cindy.
Thank you.
Okay, the next we've have a piece from Ken Tannenbaum. Ken is a photographer here. Well, where are we? Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's Cari Marvelli is next. Cari, I just saw you.
Yes, hi. I had a mouthful of coffee.
I got you. Okay.
How's it going?
Good to see you. I just saw you the other day. Welcome back.
I know. It looked nice in the gallery too.
Thank you. The beautiful photograph.
Yeah, you're doing. I love the gallery, the way you're getting it all set up too. And thank you for including this in the show. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
So yeah, this is just a close up of a really great flower. I went through during the summer just taking a bunch of close ups of flowers and different things in nature, and so this one just came out so nice.
Wonderful.
Just red and perfect, I thought, to submit for the show. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Cari had there's a couple other pieces of Cari's as well in some of the other shows. She's been in, I think, probably like the last 3 or 4.
Yeah, so 3, I think, the black and white and the pandemic. So that was the
isolation.
Yes, isolation. Yeah.
I'm going to bring up Ken Tannenbaum's real quick to show you that. It's a little out of order. Here we go. Okay. All right. Ken Tannenbaum is an artist, photographer here in Woodstock. This is called Deer Crossing with Red Nose. You may not see the red here, but
it's right there.
Close. And there's just so many things about this photograph that I like. He captured a real foggy, windy road, which, that itself is really wonderful. And then the idea of someone sticking a little red dot on the deer crossing, and especially this time of year, is a lot of fun. So this is Ken Tannenbaum. Ken has a number of pieces on Artsy as well through the shop. There were 2 pieces in the last show. All right. And next we have a portrait of a dahlia by Ruth Hirsch. Ruth is an artist here, I believe, in Saugerties. This is a photograph. Sandra Nystrom, this is Moonlit Red House. It's oil on paper. This is a little dark for you know, what I know of Sandra's work. I mean, she you know, she uses a lot of darker tones, but this one a little more so than usual. And then this is Red Night. This is the Artsy exclusive. The other one is in the show. This one is only on Artsy. Luis Alves, a little more Trump for you. This is called Damages. Luis does works a lot with pop culture. He's an artist in New Jersey, works a lot with, you know, bringing awareness to current events and sort of mixing them up with a little bit of pop culture. So here's a little play on the TV show. I think it's a TV show called Damages. And then we also have a play on the other side, AHS Apocalypse, American Horror Story. Little Joe Biden here with some COVID. Lowell Barr. All right. Now I know Lowell's here. I saw her. I heard her. There you are.
Hi.
Always a pleasure, Lowell.
Thank you, dear. In my
this-
studio holding my phone, so it's a little jiggly.
That's okay. This one I originally saw on Facebook. Lowell posted this on Facebook, and I reached out to her immediately and said, hold on to that for the red show, because it's got pink and red, or maybe that's purple.
It's purple. Yeah.
Purplish pink. All right, for today's purposes, it's pink. Okay.
Okay. That's the print. The print didn't get the purple quite right. But yeah, my friend Ann and Gray Morris, who are in the gallery, had made a trip to Illinois, and Ann found these red shoes in her father-in-law's house and thought of my granddaughter and brought them to me. And of course, being from Kansas, I'm, you know, immediately thinking of Dorothy. And she just dropped them on the floor. And then I looked over, and I have a purple floor in my studio, and I saw the way the light was shining on him, and I just grabbed it. So it wasn't set up at all. It was purely accident. But I like
all this time I've been thinking that those are doll shoes and that this is a doll house. Seriously, it does. I mean, they look like miniatures.
Well, they are little girl shoes. They're not very big, but no, they're not miniatures. Yeah. Real shoes. Dorothy, I'm sure, has passed them down from wherever she is.
Yeah. And Lowell, you know, Lowell is a artist of many trades and mediums. Photography is just one of them, and I'm always surprised to see what Lowell comes out with next. This was.
I'm always surprised too. I never know what I'm coming out with next.
Well, that's what makes it exciting.
Yeah, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, have a look on Artsy. There's lots of Lowell's work on Artsy as well, and then you could also look on Emerge Gallery NY. I did a show for Lowell a couple years ago, a solo show, and really fantastic work. That's still up on the Emerge Gallery site, and then you'll see one coming up on Artsy.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Robert, and it's a great show. It looks beautiful.
Thank you. The red show is one of my favorites.
Yes, love it. We need some red in our lives right now.
Yes, we.
Well, not that kind of. We need color.
Right.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Tom Hackett is Tom here? Did I see Tom come in? No. Okay. All right, Tom Hackett. Where are we? I need to share. Sorry, guys. Here we go. Okay. All right, great. So Tom Hackett, this is Venetian Colors 2007. This is a photograph. I really like the depth here, what's going on back here too. But I think the red, the green, and the blues are really striking in this photograph. Barbara, I saw Barbara here. I'm glad you're here, Barbara. Here we go, great. You're on mute, let's bring you up. Let's bring up your work. And we have two pieces by Barbara. I got a number, Barbara's been in a number of shows as well. You can go on Artsy and have a look at Barbara's work. Barbara's another artist that does a number of different things. One of them is collage, and this is a really vibrant collage piece. So yeah, tell us about this.
I love the fact that Robert's show, the primarily red show, allows it to just be one pop of red, not that the piece needs to be predominantly red.
Right.
And as Robert said, I do work in a lot of different mediums, and they generally have the same kind of aesthetic to them. This one and the other one that he's going to show are a little different. Things usually have a lot of curving lines in them. The piece that he's showing right now, which is called Kimono, I went through a period of buying quilt patterns and making collages out of using a variety of different kinds of papers, but matching the quilt pattern. And so it's not quite the same kind of curvaceous look. Hopefully it is rich. It has, this one has gold, the last one, I like metallics. This one has gold and the last one has silver.
Yeah.
I have to say that my collage teacher, I did this in a workshop at Woodstock School of Art. She was appalled at this picture. It just was not, she's no longer with us, but she liked pieces to be very quiet, as she would put it. And she would look at my work and say, just quiet. And she couldn't understand I was using metallic corrugated paper. It was just, it was so far beyond her. So I did cry a little bit at that particular session. But I like this piece myself. So yeah, and I love being in the Merge Gallery. I've been in a number of different shows this year. So
it's always a pleasure to have you. I just recently learned that the story behind the bottom of the red heel.
The Louboutin?
Yes, yeah. Was originally from, it was the upper class that had there. That's how you distinguish between the classes. One of the upper class usually had red painted on the bottom of their shoes. How true that is, I don't know, but it sounds good. All right, great. Thanks, Barbara.
Thank you.
Next, we have a piece by Gina Petrecka. Gina is an artist I know in New Jersey. I like this piece a lot. It's called All We Need Is Love. It's a simple piece, but so effective, and I really like the different gradations here that she captured in the back of the red. And these days, we all can certainly use a little more love. These are by Michael Palladino. This is a series that he has, 100 Love Letters, I believe it's called. I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank on it, but they are vintage letters and envelopes that are encased in encaustic. This is letter number 52. This is a vintage envelope as well. Can you change? Okay. Andrea Giarraputo. Let me bring a different one up here of this. And Andrea, I did see you here. So let's bring you up. Oh, there you are. I see you. You're on mute, Andrea.
Thank you.
Okay, there you go.
Thank you very much for having me in the show. And
I love it.
I really enjoy the work that I've seen today. I can't wait to come in person and see the show. I think it's terrific. This piece is it's an apple orchard in New York. It's made out of textiles and beads and buttons. It took me a long time to do this piece because I started off with something that I didn't know where to go with it, and then I did a little bit more months later and still didn't know how to finish it, and then I got the bluebird button and it finished itself. So it was fun. It was a fun project. Robert, you're on mute.
Yeah, I just realized that. There are a few other pieces of Andrea's as well. There were 2 pieces in the last smaller show.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Andrea. Let's see who we have next. Carolyn or Albrecht? Carolyn, I think I saw you here. I knew you were planning on joining us. Are you here? Oh, here you are. Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Good, good. Good to see you. Welcome.
Good. Thank you. Thank you for hosting this.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
So yeah, really briefly, my work is mixed media. I start out with a watercolor background. I typically, employ some kind of what I call a fun technique, either salt or this one here has saran wrap on the wet watercolor. And then I add Prismacolor markers, pigment ink, stitching towards the end. And with this one, the show theme primarily red. A lot of my work, this one is not a good example of how I like vibrant color, but typically my work is very vibrant, very whimsical. And this one actually has 2 titles. I realized that when I submitted it, I titled it Specimen. And then when I looked at the back of it, I had changed my mind and had called it something about curiosity. But so sometimes as I title pieces, there's just a very obvious name that the piece wants to have. And then sometimes I kind of go back and forth, and then other pieces just get, the typical untitled, radial design. And so, so that's this piece, and not sure what else to tell you about it. So.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks.
All right, great. Thanks so much. All right, next, Melissa Harris. Melissa, I thought I saw you here. Maybe I didn't. No? Oh, here, I got to let her in. Perfect timing. She's joining us right now. Good timing. Melissa, are you here? Oh, here you are. You're perfect timing, Melissa. You're right up. You're on mute.
Okay, there I go. Okay,
great. Welcome.
Thank you.
Here you go.
Okay. So now it's my turn to talk on this?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Yeah, no, this is a small.
I'm sorry, it brought you in and threw you right in.
Oh, okay. Well, it's a small piece, and I was working from a collection of photos that I had taken of a friend of mine who's in a local band, Frenchie and the Punk, and her name is Samantha Stevens.
Great band.
Aren't they?
Yes, they're a lot of fun. They've been doing a lot virtually on YouTube or on Facebook and YouTube through the whole pandemic. I think they've been doing a show every week. Love it.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't tuned in, but now you know who that is. So that's Samantha.
Makes perfect sense now. Great.
Yeah, so I really had fun doing this. And I don't work in red too much. I tend to work more in blues and greens. So this was really fun for me. And I was happy with it just because it was loose throughout the whole painting. It wasn't, I didn't get real tight with the figure. And I feel that the background works well with the figure.
Yeah, there's a lot of really great movement in it. And now I know why I liked it so much. Melissa has a few other pieces in some of the other shows as well. She took part in the Tell Me a Story show, which the art is still online. And the whole point behind that show is it was all very narrative work. I invited writers to come on in and finish writing the stories that the artist started in their artwork. Melissa and a number of other artists are included. So if you feel compelled to finish writing a story, I'm still accepting submissions. So have a look on the website. let's see some of Melissa's work. Thanks, Melissa.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Oh, Marjorie Maggot. Okay, Marjorie. Marjorie has two pieces. This is called Begonias. It's 10 by 10. It's acrylic on canvas. And then the second is called Cardinal, 24 by 18. This is acrylic as well. I always say Marjorie's work makes me smile. They're very whimsical, and I mean it. I like Marjorie's work a lot. Marjorie lives here in Saugerties. I currently have a solo show of hers called Whimsical, The Art of Marjorie Maggot. And it's a nice collection of different paintings that she did, all inspired by the folks that she's met throughout her life and the travels that she's been to. A lot of really whimsical animals. She's inspired by, like, this one is a New Yorker cover from the 60s. She's got some really interesting characters like this Calmia posing, and some great little animals too. Her work is very whimsical, a lot of fun. And I keep saying that it's, I mean, especially her animals, it's a really great way to introduce kids to art through her art, because I think they're just, you know, they can certainly connect with something like this. So that's Marjorie Maggot. We have the Begonias and Cardinal, and then we have a solo show of hers. Sandy Taylor. This is called Orange Pedestal on Red. This piece sold before the show even opened. Sold through Artsy. It's a really lovely piece, abstract piece. And then this second piece, oh, I don't have the second piece. Well, there is a second piece that's part of the show. Sandy is an artist in New Jersey. Gertrude Abramson. Gertrude does a number, she does collage work. She's got a little bit of a dark side, and she's got a little bit of a fun side too. This is called Checking It Out. And then the second one here is called Red in the Tub. Okay, I am going to turn it over to my friend and gallery sitter here, Arabella Colton, who is going to tell you about her photograph called Barr in Southern Sweden. So yeah, we've got the photograph right here. You want to tell us a little bit about it?
Sure. This is a little something different for me because I normally work in film, black and white, but I was in Sweden in 2019 driving with friends and I saw this, excuse me, I saw this barn and I said, stop, stop, I have to take a picture of it. And my friends were kind of, what, you know, they didn't think it was particularly attractive, but I loved it. I loved the flatness of it, the way it divided into thirds with the soil and the barn and the white sky. And I just liked it. So I took a picture with my camera. And that's it.
I think I like Arabella's work, and I'm familiar with Arabella's work. And one thing that she does use is she does use black and white, and she uses traditional film. So I'm really curious. This is a complete diversion for you. This is a digital phone photograph, which is a complete opposite of what you're used to, and color. I mean, can you tell me a little bit about was there any kind of challenge, or was it easier, or what's?
No, I just saw it and fell in love with it and took the picture.
Great. Well, I'm really, really pleased to have it.
Thank you.
I also want to let you know about Arabella has I'm doing a solo show of Arabella's called The Wall Dogs. Wall Dogs, San Francisco, 1990s. In San Francisco in the 1990s, there was an artist who was walking around just painting dogs on the walls all over San Francisco. He was anonymous, and Arabella captured the different wall dogs. No one ever found out who the artist was. They thought that it was a student, but I'm really pleased to be exhibiting these virtually on Artsy. I was there in San Francisco at the time and made it a point to go and search out these wall dogs like a lot of other people did. So it's great to have them archived photographs. So I thank Arabella for that. So please spend a little time looking at those if you get the chance.
Thank you.
Yep, you got it. Josepha Gutelius. Josepha is an artist here in Saugerties. I'm a big fan of Josepha's. This one is called Invisible New Earth, Man at Poolside. It is acrylic and it measures, what does it measure? It's a longer piece. 16 by 24. Okay. Timothy Ebnith. This is Wiping Away Tears. This is acrylic on canvas, and I believe this is 12 by 12, and there's some really great texture in this piece. I've had a number of Tim's pieces in shows before. You can have a look at those on Artsy as well. Taylor Kasiki. This one is called Documenting the Madness, and it is pen on ink. Suzanne Parker, this is called Naughty or Nice. Suzanne does a lot of different mixed media works. This is hers. Elizabeth Antonet, maybe I'm pronouncing that wrong. I'm probably butchering her last name. I knew Elizabeth at a gallery I ran in New Jersey, and Elizabeth has a whole series where she's painting humans and birds that sort of resemble each other. This one I immediately fell in love with. It's called Rooster. Really striking, and it was perfect for this show. So I'm really pleased to be exhibiting Elizabeth's piece for this show. Will Nixon. I love this series, Will. And this one here, this is a great little piece. Will is an artist, poet, little bit of everything. Living in Kingston, New York. Will, are you? Oh, here you are.
Here.
All right. Sorry, I just muted you by mistake. I meant to spotlight you.
Okay.
Okay, great. So yeah, tell us about this. It's a whole series. Well, I'm telling you about it. It's a little series that Will has that he's been using in photographing toys. I fell in love with this one, and the next one that I'm going to show you. And I also have prints of a number of other ones here at the gallery if you want to stop by. They'd make great gifts for kids. So, Will, tell me about this series. What prompted you to start photographing the toys?
A friend gave me a challenge, which was I use the phone digital, but he's an old photographer, film photographer. And the challenge was, I think, shoot a whole roll of film in one room. And I thought, you're kidding me. But I started buying these little toys, and I've done this in the past, but I started buying these little toys and going down to my basement. And so that's what you see in some of those basement shots, which, I don't know what else to shoot in the basement. And I do work in series. So one series are these toys. Another series I have done are reflections on my car, which create these kind of wonderful effects. And then actually I was working on a third series. And so that red feather boa was in my back seat, and this was at dusk, and I just put them all together and got the shot.
That's what that is, a boa? I kept saying a flower. Okay.
Yeah, I know. It looks it. Yep.
Yep. And then there's a second piece here.
Yep.
You used the Pinocchio a few times too. You got him hitchhiking on the street. And I got to say, with all of these photographs, I mean, what really makes it is the angle that you're shooting them at. It really makes them look alive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You got it.
Thank you.
So yeah, come on in and see them. Come see some more. I've got a handful of them on the table, some giraffes, some more lions, some is there a zebra? Some horse, no, it's a horse. All right, thanks, Will. And I'll see you next week. All right. Who's next? Wow, we're right on time. We're zipping through this pretty well. Wilma Miller. This is called Olive Bridge Farmhouse. It's acrylic on canvas, 14 by 11. I've exhibited Wilma's work in the past and in a number of shows. I like Wilma's work a lot. She's been in the last couple red shows. And usually with her red, it's a little more subtle. So I really like the just a little bit of red on the roof and the red peeking through in the different areas here. So that's Wilma Miller. Jan Sosnowitz. This is another acrylic piece as it's called As Above. And I don't think Jan is here. No. Okay. Erica is though. I have two pieces by Erica Bruno. These are fun little pieces. I enjoy these a lot. Erica, I thought I saw you. Maybe I was wrong. Okay, I was wrong. Okay, well, these are two pieces by Erica Bruno. This is called Two Rubies. It is a collage piece. And then the second piece is called Ruby Cachet. They are both 10 by 10 on panel. Allison Belolan. Allison, I saw here.
Hello.
Let's see. Where are you? Oh, I see you. Hi, Allison.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So we have two pieces of Allison's. This piece is Red Rose Rising is here in the gallery. And then we have the second piece, Volcanic, which is the artsy exclusive. So they're really, really fun. A lot of movement in this. So yeah, tell me about the collage.
So yeah, these are both mixed media collages, and they're small scale. Since the pandemic has begun, my time in the studio has been limited. I am living in Mamaroneck with my family. I have two little ones, so between juggling being an artist and now a teacher's assistant, essentially, I often work on my kitchen table. And so these two were made using magazines, scraps from my own work, and I also like to do some mono printing every once in a while, especially with jelly prints, because you don't need a lot of tools, or like you don't need to press. So I put these together with just materials that I have around. I really, I'm drawn to nature, and I actually spend, I try and go for a walk out in nature every day. And I found myself really getting curious and thinking about how our own personal, how our emotions relate to weather and nature, and how different environments affect your emotions and my emotions. These two were made at the end of August when it was really hot out, and I think we had actually lost power for a certain amount of time. So yeah, they that's, yeah, I can't think of anything else to say. They were really fun. They were fun to make.
They're lovely. I have this piece here. I have paired right on the gallery wall. I have paired right next to Will Nixon's Tiger. I really like how the two of them sort of, there were some similarities that really connected both of them. A lot of this jutting movement, the jutting out kind of movement. So. Yeah, these are really wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for having me. It's a really great show.
Thanks, Allison. Okay, and now we have a few more that I am going to finish up. Shelley Davis, this is Bubbles. Shelley, I can always count on Shelley to meet my themes. That's one thing that I like about a lot of the artists that I work with, is that they always get challenged by some of the themes I come up with. This is called Bubbles by Shelley Davis. And then the second piece is called Art. It's mixed media collage on canvas, and it is 14 by 11. Michael Egan. Michael has a whole series called, it's a Rift series. This is Rift number 9. This is from 2020. It's 24 by 12. It's acrylic sand on panel. and it's mounted on panel. You really can't see it, but there is right here a crevice in the wood. Really beautiful series. Michael Egan, Rift number 9. There's a number, Michael works with a lot of wood. He does a lot of minimal work. There is quite a bit of Michael's work on Artsy as well from previous shows. David Kleiner, Augury. This is oil and acrylic on canvas. It's 20 by 16. Bit of an abstract piece. The next piece is Gray Ivor Morris. This is the piece that I had showed you in the window. It is a frame. It is in a frame. It's alcohol ink on glass. You do need some kind of light source behind it to really get the full effect. That's why it's hanging in the window. Eileen Power. I have 2 pieces of Eileen's in the show. This one is called Le Fleur. And she wrote something about it that she would like for me to read. It's called Green and Red and Rust. Why do the colors green and red, when juxtaposed, inspire prose? Green for life, red for lust, lust for life, lust for must. I must create the green, the red, or grieve my failure in the end. A famous artist needed not be, just soul ablaze, no one must see but me. And in the end, if I can say I've spent some time, my hands in clay, if I can say the canvas flashed with pain at times in frenzied splash, if I can say I linked a screen, if I can say I inked a screen and pulled an image from my dream, and if by chance my words did dance when issued from my pen at last, then I will say I've lived my day, my soul ablaze, my heart in play, and I will be at peace in dusk when green and rust must surely turn to rust. Ugh, when green and red must surely turn to rust. I ruined the ending, sorry. Okay, there was one other piece. Oh, yes, one other piece by Eileen. This is called Little Red Dress, Photography. And then finally, the last one is Barbara Masterson. This is Hands That Feed Us, number 5. It's oil on canvas, 8 by 8. Barbara has been painting migrant farm workers for a bit now. She'll get to know them, get to know their stories before she picks up a brush and then captures them on canvas. She has a whole series where she's been focusing in on the hands of the migrant farm workers. I think it's a really important subject, really important series to bring, awareness to an important subject. I just wanted to go back real quick, if you don't mind, and I wanted to pull up Linda Linton's piece, because she did provide something for me to read, and I neglected to do that. So I'm just gonna pull her piece up real quick. Now, if I can find it. Sorry, guys, here we go. Okay, so we've got Hell Freezes Over. So this is what she says. Winter, summer, and hell freezes over. The color red, often juxtaposed with white, is one of my favorite color combinations. The sheer energy of the color red resonates for me. It gives me strength, and I feel it adds strength to my work. Winter, summer, a monotype, came out of this color combination as a trial. Hell Freezes Over, which is this piece, was on purpose. I visited the Catterskill Falls in mid-December several years ago when everything was frozen. The power of the waterfall, the noise, and the ice made a deep impression. The rocks had to be red. This was a little bit of hell frozen over. So that's Linda Linton's piece. So that is that's our show. That's the Red Show. Again, it's available on artsy.net. This is the winter summer that Linda was just talking about. Available on artsy.net. Look for Emerge Gallery NY. The show will be up at the gallery on the wall here through the 27th. Again, there are pieces on the wall, and then there's additional pieces that are available only through Artsy. And if you go to the Emerge Gallery NY page on Artsy, you will be able to see all of the shows that I currently have running. I've got, as I mentioned, the Dog Walls of San Francisco, photographs by Arabella Colton. Barbara Adrian Rosen, these are all Catskill abstract landscapes made with handmade paper. Barbara's an artist over here in West Hurley. So we have that show as well. I have Lesley Bodzy, Wrapping and Unveiling, and please take a look at that. There's some really wonderful work there, which we had discussed earlier. And a brand new show, Ed Berkey's In the Moment. Ed has a great use with color. He's an abstract artist and a landscape artist. And Ed just has a lot of fun. He says, I need to paint to get me off the couch. So this is a new show that just went up this weekend by Ed Berkey's. And then finally, we've got the Marjorie Magid, the art of, the whimsical, the art of Marjorie Magid, which we talked about before as well. So that's our show. Thank you again for everyone that participated. It's always exciting to hear directly from the artist. Yeah, we'll be doing this. Oh, actually, I'm taking January off. Little vacation. So I doubt if I'm, that means I'm not going to be working. I need to paint the walls and clean the back and do everything that I've been putting off. But I promise I'll take a little time for myself because I need it. And then I'll be back in February with the annual Socrates Artist Show. That'll be on the walls. Yeah. So again, thanks everyone for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you again at the next show. Have a look at the the work on Artsy. If you have any interest in some of the past work as well, they are archived on Artsy. We've got a couple of these virtual tours that are up on the YouTube channel from the last few shows as well. There's some poetry readings. So please spend a little time with it. The Hudson Valley and outside the Hudson Valley has some really incredible talent. And I'm so pleased to, be exhibiting them here at the gallery and now virtually. Yeah, art's selling. So that's a really good thing. Please let your friends know about the great work that we have here at Emerge Gallery. Thanks again, everyone. And everybody have a happy holiday. Please stay safe. I'm hoping that I'm not, I'll be here through the rest of the month unless something changes. But yeah, everyone, please stay safe so that we can see you next year. Okay. All right, everyone. Thanks.